Yeah, because we have 6 people, I think we're going to try and do a somewhat structured thing at the start. Maybe not structured. I don't know. It's just going to be
Is this a panel show? Is this a British-style panel show now?
It's a British-style panel show.
Can I be David Mitchell?
You can be David Mitchell.
What does the...
I'm going to be Sue Milliken then.
What we're going to do is I haven't run this by Steven yet, but I'm going to go through the Wikipedia list of 2020 events.
Okay.
And we're going to see
I pre-wrote a couple of good topics too, just in case.
Oh shit, this is big fat quiz. This is not a panel show. This is big
I got
fat
some
quiz.
questions. I got some good trivia. Some good questions.
You're in review.
Then I'm definitely Jack Whitehall then.
Mine are opinion based. Like, what do you think of this?
Okay, well we'll have them all. But I don't know how we'll start. Actually, fuck it. Fuck structure. I just have the 2020 list of Wikipedia in front of me to remind me of the shit that happened this year. I totally forgot that. Man. January 7th, 56 people were killed in a crush at the funeral of Qasem Soleimani in Kerman, Iran. So not only was the general killed.
Simpler times.
Yeah, that was in January.
Yeah, that was the start.
Wait, when did Kobe die?
I think it was February.
Wait, who died?
No, Kobe was past COVID.
Is it?
No, he wasn't. He was definitely a pre-COVID death.
Right on the precipice.
No, I remember because you're right.
Kobe died when I was still at the office, so that must have been in February.
Yeah, it's because they stopped NBA stuff, and I went to a game after he died where Kyrie Irving scored like a bazillion points against the Bulls.
The thing with the Kobe Bryant incident is it really teaches you the danger of helicopter parenting.
January 26th.
Wow.
What happened on
fire.
Oh, man. Kobe.
I love Kramer with the OnlyFans angle right there, just the whole time.
Is that the OnlyFans angle? That's hot.
Well, if you want people to see the bottom of your dick.
Oh, I saw someone. Do you guys ever get like crazy porn retweeted on Twitter? Because I got that. I got someone putting a beer inside of their bum, like close up, and then opening the beer.
A can?
Glass or can?
A can, and then basically it was like a
that's
butt
more
chug.
impressive.
It was like a butt chug. I witnessed it.
Wow.
They opened it?
Yeah, while it was all the way in, they reached.
Like they used the
Wait, so what do they like?
intestine?
Yeah, what do they
that's
stick
rude.
under the tab to pull it? That doesn't make any sense.
So they reached around and opened it with their finger because it's all the way in, and it's they can still get a finger in to open it, and then they open it inside their butt. It was really cool.
Okay.
See, that's my new party trick. I'm going to do that while doing a cake stand. And I'm just going to get it from both ends. Be rotisserie by beer.
Yeah.
You're coming up and down.
Eiffel beer
I'm going to have really
tower.
bad heartburn.
Okay, yeah, actually this should just be the 2000 special. We just bring up topics and then throw it to the panel. This is it.
I got a good question for the panel, real quick. Do you guys think the Brexit deal is going to mean a grittier James Bond?
Wait, are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm not recording my own audio yet.
I think we've been recording for like 10 minutes now.
Yeah, I clapped and then we started.
You clapped and then we started? Fuck it. I'm just going to go raw dog for this. You're just going to get the Zoom audio for this.
Well, you guys are the editing gods. You could do whatever you want in post.
Steven is the editing god.
Oh,
I do nothing.
I completely change conversations. I switch words around. I make you say crazy stuff.
But yes, this is a House of Decline 2020 New Year's special. We've already been talking for 10 minutes, and it's been fruitful. We have, as always, our good boy Steven.
Hello.
But we have also a very special cadre of guests that are the panel. They're referred to as the panel. We got, I'll try and do this in order of appearance they came on the show. which I think goes Steve.
Yo, yo, yo.
Steve Picano. Oh, shit, that's your name. Leave that out, Stephen.
Okay.
Then I think Jay came after. I can't remember, man, this year. Jay, it's you.
No, Kramer was on before I
Kramer.
was.
Kramer was on before it. Kramer.
What up? What up? I'm the Richard Iowade.
Yeah, you're the. Oh man, that would make Dan the Noel Fielding.
I'm Noel Fielding.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Noel Fielding,
Oh,
Dan.
maybe.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna get the lowest scores of this quiz.
Okay, I've been introducing you terribly. Just say I'll introduce you, and then y'all say hello. Steve,
Hello.
Kramer,
Hello.
Jay,
Hello.
Dan.
Hello.
Yeah, those are all the voices you're gonna hear. It's just like the beginning of Peter and the Wolf, where the oboe represents the duck, but instead their voices represent the person.
Now, my voice still represents a duck.
It's so House of Decline New Year's panel. We already talked about Soleimani. That was really fucked up. that was
I forgot about the collapse.
yeah.
Oh, can I say something really funny? Which is, I guess that's a given in this format. That I
it's
can
gotta be
always
funny.
say something. Yeah. Anyway,
As long as it's fucking funny.
well, like January rolled up, and that whole like shit show went up, and like Trump started saying shit about Iran. So I wrote like a whole thing about Iran and war and everything, and I shared it on my fucking like whatever. And this guy, whose name was exactly like a Montreal publisher, like the exact same name, added me on Facebook and was like, I want to publish this, send it to me. And I realized like he's a bit weird. And then I'm like, where are you going to, he's like, oh yeah, I have this thing of all these 4chan writings that I'm going to bind and sell at this like 4chan like meet and greet or whatever. So
It's really high praise.
so I'm like, I blocked them. I'm like, oh, pull this shit out. But there's a chance that like there's a 4chan like meet and greet happening, and there is all this writing, and then there's this writing of me about Iran and like the U.S. and Trump.
That's very like what
You
are you?
can be
What are
the
you?
ContraPoints for Iran.
I think that's what we need. Well, maybe they were like, what was the vibe of this Montreal? When you say he was weird, describe his. Did you meet him in person? Did you see him
No.
physically?
He added me on Facebook, and the only reason I like his name is like the exact same, just like a different spelling of this one guy I knew who published shit in Montreal.
Okay.
And
So
I'm like, oh, this is this guy. But no, like it's like one of those like instead of an A, it had like an O or whatever. And it was just like a 4chan enthusiast.
But so wait, did you post this? So he's taking a Facebook post and putting it with a 4chan compilation?
Yeah.
I feel like he's doing that to spite you. I
I'm
feel
like
he's
printing
doing
it.
Like, are you on the page where it's like it's 4chan view and then normie view? This is what normies think. You know, they have opinions.
Kramer gets the coda.
Oh man.
Kramer does Dakota? That sounds like a good porno.
Just pick your Dakota wisely.
Well, not Dakota Fanning. We all love Dakota Fanning.
No,
What
I'm doing
happened
the
to her?
actual state.
Happened to her.
You're doing the whole state. Like you're just gonna dig a hole in the ground in Dakota and fuck it.
No, I'm gonna
You're gonna
bottom
fuck
for Dakota.
Bottom for Dakota. So you're gonna build a mound of dirt.
For East
And then-
Dakota.
For East Dakota.
I think
The
what happened to
long-forgotten
Dakota
East
Fanning
Dakota.
is that she got too old for the roles. She's
For
20.
kids.
Yeah, she's 26 now, so she's not
Oh,
going
no.
to.
She was in the Twilight movies.
She was.
Yep. And
She was a
fine.
child.
26 is now too old. officially.
It's
So
too
is
old for the
she-
Dakota Fanning rules.
So is she like still alive? Is she addicted
Yeah.
to drugs? Like what's
she's
what's
fine.
going on with her? No?
She's fine. She's
I don't know
like
that she's fine.
does theater now where the roles are, I guess.
That's great. 2020 was the year of Dakota Fanning. Let's officially declare that now. She really
brought
gained her
COVID.
life back.
What?
She was the person who brought COVID to the U.S.
She was?
Yeah, she's patient zero.
Whoa.
Who was Dakota Fanning
You
the
can't
whole
find
time?
that on Wikipedia.
She's part of the
Who's
whole
Dakota
QAnon
Fanning?
conspiracy.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Well, fucking, we talked about Soleimani. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna throw out some events.
Yeah, what else
everybody.
happened? Alex, what else happened?
Well, there was a plague. There was a plague that happened.
There was a bunch of stuff that happened before the plague.
What's some
February?
funny stuff? Yeah, what happened in February?
People were all up on Kobe being dead. People were
Mhm.
pretty fixated on Kobe being dead for pretty much all of it.
Kobe died. It was a very sad moment. Were there any deaths that were as impactful as Kobe?
Not
I'll be honest, I didn't even remember that Kobe Bryant died until you all just started saying Kobe, and I assumed that that's who you're talking about.
Well, yeah.
That was all
It
people
is.
cared about, at least in New York.
Yeah,
Fucking
I'm a
Kobe.
gay Canadian. We don't basketball.
Wait, I remember something that happened. Schitt's Creek won 6 or 7 Emmys.
Yeah, Schitt's Creek became the
Yeah.
show of popularity.
Oh,
I-
that's weird.
I've often said that Schitt's Creek is, it fulfills the gay fantasy of being in the country and not fearing for your life.
If you
I
look
once
at where-
worked for a professor that said I dress like Dan Levy, and I didn't know if it was a compliment or not.
It's very close to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You ever go there? You ever go to the place?
No, but it's a
Canadian?
huge tourist trap now.
Yeah.
Have any of y'all watched Schitt's Creek? Has the panel watched Schitt's Creek?
No.
What are your impressions of it based on, Dan, what are your impressions of Schitt's Creek based on your very limited associations with it?
My mother loves it.
Of course, it's for mothers.
My grandmother and my mother bonded over it during quarantine, and it's all I heard about.
That's so
That
funny.
it saved their life. And I haven't watched a second of it.
Oh my god.
It saved my mother's life, apparently.
What, she said that? She
Eugene-
literally said that?
Is Eugene Levy in this?
Yeah.
That's just how I imagine this show.
It's boring.
Well, it's cute. If
It's about like Pennsylvania or something.
No, well, they don't tell you where the show is set, but a rich family eventually becomes redeemed when they integrate with the townsfolk of a small, presumably Ontario town. And you get to know these quirky characters over the course of 6 seasons. And Dan Levy is funny because he's a high-strung gay person.
Well,
and Catherine O'Hara is the real star. let's
She
be
is the real
honest.
star.
And she's always
She
a
is.
treat.
Yeah, she says
Oh.
bebe in it, and people like that.
I served Catherine O'Hara a pork gyro in 2012, and that's my claim to fame.
Hell yeah.
Until you got pegged by Dakota Fanning. Now that's your claim to fame.
There's
and that's how COVID came to America.
That's how we Kramer is patient one.
I made ice cream for Emma Stone.
Whoa.
Was it at a Cold Stone Creamery?
No, that would have been good. I thought
That
she
would
was.
have been
I thought she was Lindsay Lohan the whole time.
Alex and I once sat next to Sarah Jessica Parker at a play.
And Adam Shankman.
And Adam Shankman. And I
Did you
offered
say
them weed,
things?
and they did.
Oh my God! You spoke to them?
Well,
No, they wouldn't smoke with us. But
Oh no! I said you
Nah.
spoke to them. You spoke to them.
yeah,
Wow.
I asked them if they wanted some weed.
Smoke weed with him.
Oh,
What else
good
happened?
old,
There was the impeachment hearings happened this year.
yeah. And then nothing. You know why that's not newsworthy? Because nothing happened. It was just a big procedural nothing.
Yeah, they-
It's not news. It was.
It's the principle of it, though.
Wait,
Well, everyone's gonna get impeached now.
That's the theory.
before we move on past Schitt's Creek, I have to mention that my mom is the kind of person who runs out of like stuff on Netflix, but like she like finishes Netflix. She's like, oh, I'm all done with Netflix this month. I have to wait for new shit. Like she watches everything, and then she watched Schitt's Creek for like 5 episodes and like was bored out of her mind. Like she has finished everything that Netflix has offered, but could not stand Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek.
Well, one mom's trash is another mom's treasure.
Okay, I just formulated an idea about Schitt's Creek that I think, because it really is the apotheosis of a genre of Canadian television that I like to call shit doesn't happen in a small town television, but there's like some quirky characters. And this genre is it's like we got Corner Gas, we had Little Mosque on the Prairie. That was an actual show. You can look it up. It was weirdly popular.
Wow.
Little Mosque on the Prairie?
Little
Holy
Mosque on the Prairie.
shit.
You guys haven't heard of Little Mosque on the Prairie? Greatest Canadian export since Avril Lavigne?
God.
Whoa.
Holy shit. I have to get on this. Oh my god.
But yeah, it's this very and in Canadian theater, Jay, you'll attest to this. Canadian theater is full of that slice of life bullshit, right?
Yes, it's annoying.
Jay, can you elaborate on the slice of life bullshit in Canadian theater?
Well, the thing is, it's because Canada's extremely boring in a lot of ways, but, Canadian theater really kind of began, in the 70s, because before then everyone just wanted British shit, and then they were like, oh, there's these white people, they live in a kitchen, and they hate each other. And then, once, sort of more marginal voices got brought into the art, they kind of got shifted into that template. We're like, no, don't say anything interesting about yourselves. Make yourselves as boring and milquetoast as all of the white people in Alberta. And that's why we now have a great queer and multiracial tradition of really boring kitchen sink realism in Canadian theater.
Yeah. Imagine like Mike Lee, but all the character taken out of it. And that directly translates to Corner Gas and then evolves into the ultimate version of that, which is Schitt's Creek. But I think it's amazing that show is resonating with Americans so hard, because it is sort of like the ultimate comfort food in a way. It is like we're going back to nature. We're going in the Canadian rural wilderness, but it's instead of people being rednecks, they're actually weirdly tolerant. And so it is this sort of fantasy version of this rural bubble that I think people aspire to be in.
Yeah, it's gentrification phase 3. It's like, okay, we've already sent out our sons and daughters to go live in this area and gentrify it for us, and now we're retiring here. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're right, because eventually they do end up gentrifying the town. That's you without
I think the
even
town's
seeing
already
it.
been gentrified.
There you go.
And then now the purpose has been fulfilled.
Yes.
To be a place for old people to live.
Yes.
But that's
Well,
actually what my mother did during the quarantine. Which is probably why she identified so well with Schitt's Creek.
mm-hmm.
She moved upstate New York, where she could be more comfortable near her son, who was there before her.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got
Dan.
too boring.
Dan, you're the Dan of this show.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the David of this show. I don't know. You're David. I don't know fucking Schitt's Creek. It sucks. It fucking sucks, all right? It's like The Office. It just fucking sucks. It's
But
average.
The Office is good.
The Office is great,
Yeah, The Office is good though.
turns out.
Now, I'm taking Schitt's Creek over Office for me.
Oh, man. I got to watch Schitt's Creek.
No, because The Office is like, fuck. No, because all of Michael Schur's shows are work will set you free. The
Right, but
Office
Schitt's Creek's general premise is that these people are terrible. So, you're laughing at, with The Office, it's like work will set you free, and also these people are supposed to be redeemable, even though they're kind of the worst, but they're not played up as the worst. Whereas this, the joke behind Schitt's Creek every single time is rich people are terrible and we should eat them.
But they eventually get redeemed, so it's all bullshit in the end. Eugene Levy is rich. They're all rich.
Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, we can take, maybe if it were more upfront about it, it's like rich people are fine. Just.
Okay.
Man. Wait, what were we? So we went on to Kobe. We missed the whole
Yeah.
Kobe tangent.
Well, if you
Steve.
see my Zoom background, this is a big part of 2020.
Yeah, I was gonna say we skipped that too. Tiger King.
Bro,
Well,
Tiger
that
King.
was post COVID though.
It was right in the edge. It's funny when you look at the Wikipedia. It's just it goes from things happening to then just things being postponed. Postponed. Everything is postponed, and then Tiger King happens. People.
Okay, here's a question for the group. Do you guys think that Tiger King would have been as successful if not for people being stuck at home in quarantine all of a sudden?
Absolutely not.
No.
I think it would have been. I think it would have been just as successful. People would have talked about it like at work more.
Probably a little bit less successful. Just a little bit less successful if
Well, yeah, because there's always those people with the Netflix where they're like, I'm not watching what everybody's watching, but COVID took that away. You fucking watched it.
you had to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they released it at a really savvy time where this was like maybe a week or two into just like everyone being home and trying to like adjust to the new quarantine life where they couldn't see their friends or anything. And I don't know. I actually wonder like what Netflix's numbers for that period were like. I'm sure they shot way up.
Yeah, same with
I feel like there's a
Nintendo Switch.
Schadenfreude part to it too, where it's kind of like everyone was like, somebody's worse than us. Somebody's got it worse than we got it. I'm at home,
Yeah.
but this guy's weird.
I think it's just a classic thing of wanting to hate the rural poor and then finding the most egregious example of such in order to hate the rural poor. Even though Tiger King, he's not a poor guy, but he's like emblematic of the hallmarks of that culture. So, and everyone likes to laugh at rednecks, you know, we hate them. They're Joe Dirt, right? You know, they fucking suck, right? We smug coastal types. We gain a lot of pleasure from their derision. And I think Tiger King it's like if they made a show about Jessica Yaniv and said, this is a show, you know, and people were just, you know, cursing at this trans person and saying that this is emblematic of all trans people. I don't know. I have some problems with Tiger King made me feel bad for some reason. Just made me feel bad on the inside. Like there's no point in me watching this. It made me feel like bad, like accessing the leaked photos of Jennifer Lawrence nude made me feel bad. It's like, why am I watching? This is bad. I shouldn't be watching this.
I mean, it is a little exploitative, I'd say.
Yeah.
Which is maybe why you felt bad.
Yeah.
We couldn't finish it. Kit wouldn't let us finish it.
Kid is smart. Kid did the right thing. This is bad for your soul. Don't watch this.
Since you said do the right thing, we had the whole BLM thing happen.
Oh, right. Though that was event. So the whole BLM thing. I mean, George Floyd was really the kickoff of that.
When was George Floyd?
George Floyd.
What happened in
It
April?
was April. Yeah. So, man, I mean, this is the weird pattern. Is it just like there becomes, I wonder if we're just going to see uprisings. I shouldn't say uprising. That's the fucking wrong word for it. But we will see mass demonstration in action every 3 years when a particularly egregious case happens. Because George Floyd, that stuff happens every day. But for some reason, some things really take root. I mean, for George Floyd is that video. Like, it's impossible to watch that video and like be like, oh, this is. You can't watch that video and be like, we should destroy all cops. It's clear to me that we should murder all of these guys. Mm-hmm. I didn't say that. These are just a joke for purposes. Don't take that seriously.
Let's be cynical about this for a second, right? Because I actually think that a lot of these protests have, you know, almost a Tiger King effect as well, where it's like, listen, it's all a good cause, but everyone was locked up. Nobody had anything to do. The weather finally got good enough to go outside. Everyone was pissed. Like, most people weren't at their jobs. Like, they didn't have to go in at, 9 to 5. Like that. I'm not, I think there is sort of I guess one of the positives, material positives of COVID is that it gave people enough time to actually, not have the boot on their neck to actually protest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree that there are people who were more outraged than they would have been had they had less distractions.
Well, actually, like,
people who gave up.
I wouldn't say more outraged, but like more free to actually express as opposed to like more outraged. Like, because there's a lot of times when you're outraged and you're like, I can't afford to like not to go to work and like go protest, but you're like, okay, I can actually like stand up for something I believe because my work is literally canceled. But also, like, did any of you see that Ubisoft game? That Ubisoft made a mobile game where you had to like, you basically played as special forces trying to control. I'm heavily finger quoting because this is going to be recorded, but you had to curb street uprising, and the uprising was like very vague, but the emblem for it was a raised fist. And Ubisoft literally made a mobile game. Like, I think this was like 2 months after, and it was a huge, like, I mean, I'm bigger into game news that like some of you might be, but yeah, that was a huge thing that like Ubisoft made a mobile game where you had to like literally curb a national uprising.
You're like a unit, or are you?
Yeah, you're like in a SWAT kind of team, and you have to curb like a people's uprising that literally has a fist as their.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh my God.
Wait, Ubisoft is a French company, right?
Ubisoft is like, I don't know if Ubisoft is like one of the worst ones. Yeah. Ubisoft is the one with all the sexual harassment lawsuits.
Yes, it's a French company. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
We also know the French are really bad at corralling protesters and, treating them really kindly.
I like the idea of like a bunch of like French guys in high-vis vests protesting, like clucking the American protests on TV. So disorganized. Now let us go back and worship Marine Le Pen. She has all the right ideas. No, a lot of the French protest guys are good. Sometimes I don't know. It's a very strange country.
France is a great contradiction because they have like the yellow vests were both fascist and communist, and they just both liked wearing yellow vests and went on strike at the same time, and that was the only thing connecting them.
Yeah.
I mean, I like yellow vests. Who doesn't like yellow vests? I mean, come on.
High vis
color.
It's a good look.
My God.
They were taking over all the toll stations. It was really cool. They took over all the toll stations. So
they weren't just the people working at toll booths.
They were able to stop movement throughout the whole country of like trucks, and then they would go around and smash windows of banks. I was in France for a brief period while they were happening in Toulouse, and everything was smashed. It was crazy. You walk around imagine a downtown area, every window is smashed in.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, speaking of pre-COVID shit, those massive blockades on the railroads in Canada by the water protectors.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now that we're talking BLM, there's a whole bunch of indigenous protests like throughout all year. The Mi'kmaq.
Yeah, the Mi'kmaq protest, the lobster. We had Jay on for that. 1492 Land Back Lane was this year as well.
Oh yeah, there were like 6 at the same time. I remember at one point.
I mean, that's the thing is, as we said before on this show, we take the Max Weber approach that a state is just a monopoly on the legitimate use of force, and when a state is shown to be weak in that respect, when a police force cannot be trusted, the will to create one's own sovereignty or to assert one's own sovereignty goes up. And I think that's what we're seeing. A state becomes weak when their methods of force become anti-structural and unfettered.
Yes.
And not
Althusser would say once you go from a repressive state apparatus from an ideological state apparatus, you are becoming a less civilized dictatorship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I got a question for the panel. Let's do a time.
Not getting any hollers for Althusser.
You got okay, Frankfurt. You can. Althusser can be your. Althusser can be your time person of the year. Who is your time person of the year? Let's Steve. Who is your time person of the year? Is it Joe Biden / Kamala Harris, the Kamala Biden monster?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think of something a little more interesting than that, but I think if we're going by like all the typical time person of the year,
it's your person of the year. The who is your person of the year though?
Who's my
not
person
the objective
of the year?
person of the year?
Let's see. I mean, my not very interesting answer would be Sean Marks, which
that's an interesting answer because I don't know who that is. Who is Sean Marks?
Sean,
who is that?
I'll start explaining it and you'll see why it's a boring answer. So Sean Marks is the general manager of the Brooklyn Nets.
This is super interesting. I'm into this already.
Yeah, so he's the GM of the Brooklyn Nets, and when they first moved to Brooklyn in I think 2013, 14, 15, or like around that time, he traded pretty much the entirety of the team's draft picks for the next 5 years, along with their some of their young players for Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and I think Joe Johnson, who are all old and very much past their prime. And he did it to get a quick title run, which didn't really work out. And they were pretty terrible for the next 5 years or so. And they didn't have any draft picks, so they just kept being terrible. And then they got this GM from New Zealand, Sean Marks, who more or less just turned the team around and pulled some weird shit to get some draft picks and drafted some decent young guys.
He's from New Zealand. He's a New Zealand basketball guy. This is incredible.
He's a New Zealand basketball.
Chamberlain?
He is a genius. He is a prodigy, and it basically all culminated.
His name is Marks.
Sean Marks. Yep. And
like Karl Marx, but Sean Marks.
Yeah, sure. You could think of it like
that.
But it culminated last year in him getting Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, who are two of the best players in the league, and convincing them to come on over. And they've played a couple games of the season so far, and they're looking like the team to beat. So they went from zeros to heroes.
It's the New Zealand accent. It's disarming. Kevin, you got to come over to Brooklyn. We'll treat you right. Trust me.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fascinating though, just like watching like YouTube videos and like reading all these articles, just talking about like all the business behind basketball, and just like making the trades and constructing your team. And I think like before you, Alex, you've kind of likened it to sort of like playing like a card game and constructing your deck.
Yeah, it's you activate your trap. Oh, look, I've activated my trap card. It's Serge Ibaka. Take that. He can block well. I don't know. I follow some Raptors trades. I would tap Serge Ibaka's bet. We lost Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is that his name? I forget his name. But yeah, Toronto has basketball legacy, and we lose all of the guys that we support because they're ungrateful and they don't want to live in Canada for very legitimate reasons. That's a good person of the year. That's a good Steve's person of the year. Who's next in the Jay? Who is your person of the year?
Me?
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna go with Evo Morales.
Evo Morales, good choice.
He's my guy.
MAS.
MAS. Yeah, he had a good run. He's got excellent hair. And I mean, I respect an older man with a strong hairline. That's how you know you should be running a political movement.
It's like right down to his eyebrows. It's like he's got no forehead at all. He's like the opposite of Christina Ricci or Mina Suvari.
Wow.
Yeah, he'd make a terrible drag queen.
It sucks for the one thing Mina Suvari is known for.
Forehead lady. Hey, forehead lady, get over here.
I haven't thought about her. I haven't thought about her since the last time I thought about someone with a big forehead.
Well, now we have a small four-headed man in Evo Morales. Why Evo Morales, Jay?
Well, you know, he was, I guess he was just in the spotlight, I guess, a lot because of the whole attempted and failed coup over there. And then just the fact that, you know, he is no longer the president, but, you know, the movement that he started is, you know, really from the ground up and kind of has been a part of for a long time. It showed that it has institutional resiliency to the point that it won even more than it's ever won before. And, you know, good to see a, you know, indigenous-led political movement have some success in a year that's been politically terrible.
Was the fucking, yeah, the coup was this year as well. Damn.
It was last year.
The Venezuelan coup? No,
Bolivia.
that was this year in Bolivia, but I'm talking about general in South America. This was the year that the Venezuelan dissidents and the private military corporation infiltrated Venezuela to get Maduro out. And that was unsuccessful as well.
Oh, the boat guys.
Yeah, the boat guys.
That was crazy. That was a crazy thing that everyone forgot about this year.
And then Elon Musk was all like, we will coup whoever we want for lithium. Oh, no, he wanted to coup Bolivia for lithium. Wait.
That's going to be a great movie one day.
It's just Avatar, but in Bolivia. Yeah. And Elon Musk is trying to get all the lithium.
The boat heist.
Oh, the boat heist. Oh, yeah. That would be great. Oh, my God. What was that boat heist? Summarize the boat heist again.
I gotta look it up. It was the one in Venezuela. There was like a high-speed boat involved.
The guys that got caught.
Yeah, they got caught immediately.
Yeah. But it was like a cigarette boat and a bunch of, you know, Navy SEALs.
There's a picture of them all on the ground, and one of them peed himself.
What?
So this was like a Michael Mann Miami Vice sort of deal, except one of them peed himself.
Yeah, well, when they got caught, one of them peed himself because he was they were probably like, we're gonna go put hot irons on you or something, lock you in the dungeon.
And then they were like, look, he peed himself. Let's tell everyone.
I mean, it really doesn't help when you're getting your balls electrocuted to pee yourself. It's actually, it goes against your best interest.
Bad couple of years for South American coups. It doesn't work like it did in the 70s anymore. The magic is gone.
Yeah, the internet is ruining everything.
But the Bolivia happened last year, right?
I think you're right. He was voted out by Ginny.
The coup happened last year, but the successful.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
When that crazy lady went in, it was like, I am now the president.
The Bible is back, baby. The Bible is back in Bolivia. No more of this fucking Mixteco bullshit. We're white again. And then she was disposed by all the indigenous people, and it was good. It was nice. It was a good thing in a bad year. That was a good thing in a bad year. Kramer, who's your Time Person of the Year? Who's Kramer's Person of the Year?
Charlie Kaufman.
Charlie Kaufman.
I want everyone who doesn't know me to know that, like, when I went on this like very podcast the last time, we just bitched about Charlie Kaufman for about like 50 minutes straight. So that is not a real answer. Michaela Cole was really cool this year. I don't know.
Oh, from not I Think You Should Leave, from I May Destroy You. Yeah, that show is horrifying and really good. Michaela Cole.
No, but that's not my. I mean, like, I really like Michaela Cole, but like, I don't know, like, this year was like kind of like Bong Joon-ho's year.
Good answer. Parasite. That came out last year, but it won the Oscar this year and was very relevant this year.
This year he was pretty big, and like, I went back and watched everything I hadn't watched by him, and a lot more like new wave Korean cinema.
Hell
And it's
yeah,
like it's pretty cool, like how like political they are. Anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bong Joon-ho was a member of the Korean Socialist Party, wasn't he?
I don't know, and if we're gonna like pick, actually, if we're gonna pick a Canadian person, Eden Robinson had a good year with Trickster.
Okay, you got one. You got to choose one, Kramer. You don't have to choose one. Then.
Okay.
So you can choose multiple. So Bong Joon-ho. What was the best Bong Joon-ho movie that you'd never seen before?
What's the best one? I really like Memories of Murder, but I had watched it before. Like, that's the first thing I watched by him. That's my favorite one. It's really cool. I mean, like, I really like Parasite, even though it's not cool to like it anymore because it won an Oscar. Everyone's like, it's not cool anymore. But it's like, it's really great.
No, well, Parasite's amazing. It's a universally beloved art movie, and I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
The thing is, like, no, actually, like, the thing is, that's very emblematic of Korean cinema, that they are very like, it's, I don't know, it is a good and a bad thing because it makes the Korean new wave very samey, like, cross, like, auteurs. But the Koreans, like, the new wave of Korean cinema is, like, first of all, it's very, like, 50s, it's very different from, like European auteur cinema, because Korean cinema is still very like 50s Hollywood, that it's very company driven, and like everyone else is very like, it's not that they're like sidelined, but they're not as, you know, involved as an auteur as in, like, for example, like Italy. So like the companies still hold a lot of power over the authorship of every film. So it makes, but it's very emblematic of the Korean New Wave, where there are very entertaining art films. Like, they have a lot of those, especially like in the last 10 years. That's even more. It started in the 90s and 2000s, but especially in the 2010s, like that like blew up, where there are all these like 2.5 hour, 3 hour films that are actually very engaging and very like, they're like very in between art house and like mainstream. They please, they kind of please both.
That's the thing, is I could recommend Parasite to a lot of like normies because it's very engaging. It's easy to sympathize with the characters. You don't even know you're absorbing a nuanced political commentary while you're watching it, because it just functions as like a kind of like a heisty, thrillery kind of movie about this family. And so, yeah, I think the fact that Bong Joon-ho did win the Oscar is very significant for what people expect out of mainstream cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another surprisingly good thing to come out of 2020. Huh.
That was the last movie I saw in a theater.
That's a good last, but the last movie I saw was The Hunt, which was pretty good, actually. Another class warfare movie.
Wait, The Hunt, like the Danish one?
No, the one with Betty Gilpin, where man, I fucking love Betty Gilpin. I'm just going to say that right here. Huge Betty Gilpin fan. She should have been Captain Marvel. Brie Larson was wrong for that part. And also, that movie is terrible.
That would have been awesome casting.
Yeah.
And she could already fight, because we've all watched Glow.
Yeah, because Captain Marvel is like, you're supposed to be able to break a chair over her. Like, if I break a chair over Brie Larson, I'm sorry, she's going to the ground, you know.
Oh, bold claim. I bet she's
she's
probably stronger than you.
No, she's definitely stronger than me. She's definitely much fitter than me. She could beat me up. But I'm just saying, if I had a chair, she'd go down, you know. I think Betty Gilpin could, like, take a chair over the back.
Oh,
you know?
Okay. Who is Captain Marvel?
Carol Danvers.
Does anyone
Carol
know?
Danvers.
Who is? I don't know who that is. But anyway, Alex, who's your person?
Remember the 90s X-Men cartoon?
No.
When Rogue could fly?
Yeah.
No.
She took that from Betty Gilpin.
She took it from Betty. The rightful man. If they made a Ms. Marvel with Betty Gilpin, that's a good way to course correct that shitty character. My person of the year is obviously Rudy Giuliani. The greatest run of all time. The fucking hair dye leaking from his fucking head. The fucking just the farting at the hearing. The crazy lady that he took next to him.
I mean, the Four Seasons thing is probably the funniest thing that's
the Four Seasons thing. I didn't even forgot about that one. That one was incredible.
The racist South Asian lady.
Yeah, that shit's incredible. What else? All that footage of him wiping himself when at the RNC.
He got COVID. He had COVID and was sitting next to someone and tried to get them to take their mask off while being spat on by the man with COVID.
Yeah, just a legendary run of buffoonery. Like more so, like Donald Trump wishes, like he could be that much of a buffoon.
Also, like hands down, funniest meme of this year was that meme that was the Four Seasons thing, and it said on the next episode of Arrested Development, and that is the absolute best meme of this year. I still like, hands down, best meme.
Sidebar, what is the meme of the year? I don't know any good memes.
I don't know memes.
I can't remember any. I only like the old memes.
I think my favorite meme of the year was there's a classic WWF Attitude Era match where Mankind is wrestling The Rock for the WWF Championship, and all hell breaks loose as things tend to do, and Stone Cold kind of busts in and smacks a chair over The Rock's head and pulls Mankind onto The Rock, and he ends up winning the championship. So the best meme of the year, I thought, was The Rock had Donald Trump's face on it, and Mankind had Joe Biden's face on it. And then all the red states were like interfering and trying to fuck with him. And then some blue states kind of dove into the ring and started beating up the red states. And then Gritty, the Philly mascot guy, comes in plastered over Steve Austin's face and smacks Donald Trump over the head with a chair.
Yeah, there were a lot of those. The one that I remember is the Avengers Endgame one, where they plastered everybody's face onto the final scene where all the superheroes are coming out, and it was really post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
wait, any favorite?
Wait, hold on. Wait, what did you say, Kramer?
No. Let Jay speak.
No. I mean, I was just going to say the queer opposite to that would be any of the Jan Sport blinking at 2020 memes. That might be the most re-memed thing I've seen in the internet.
Mm-hmm. Good old Jan from the increasingly terrible RuPaul's Drag Race.
I was still going to watch all 5 new seasons.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to watch RuPaul Thailand. Gonna watch RuPaul UK. Gonna watch RuPaul Jamaica. That one's dangerous. Gonna watch RuPaul.
RuPaul Spain is coming.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to watch that shit too. Bunch of catty Latinx. People from Spain are Latinx.
You just missed your chance to make the catty land joke.
Dan, who is your person of the year?
Oh, shit.
You're on the spot now.
It's hard. I don't have an answer still, Dan.
Well, you're the next one coming up.
I can do my obvious to go with my episode, Trey Anastasio, our friend.
Why Trey Anastasio as opposed to all the other Fish members? Started
the year in Madison Square Garden, stuck on a broken platform that was levitated above the stage and tilted with all of his gear on it, and couldn't be let down, and had to wait for the show to be over to be let down by a bunch of people. He released 3 records, whilst locked in his apartment. First person to play on a late night TV show live with the Roots, our friends, and then played at those an empty Beacon Theater, and raised over $1 million for a drug treatment center.
I have to say,
Overall, funny guy.
Overall great, and well, he's also been putting out these.
All the records are bad that he made, but that doesn't matter.
Well, they're putting out old covers. They're putting out old Dad Fish covers of their old Fish songs on YouTube, and I really love these. Actually, they're making me tear up. This is what I got turned on.
It's like they all died. He acts like they've all died, and now he gets to like be at their funeral.
They've gone to Fish Valhalla.
To play never-ending solos.
Yeah. 7 and if you guys have nothing to do on New Year's Eve, there's a 5-hour Fish concert you can watch. And
hell yeah!
Nice. Is it being streamed, you mean?
Free. It's free, and they're doing a rematch. They used to play chess against the audience over the course of a tour. Like the audience would vote on a chess move, and then they'd play it on a big board. And so on New Year's, it's going to be the same thing, but on the internet, and you can like vote for a chess move, and the band will play against you for a whole night.
Oh man, they should do Fish Plays Pokemon. Yeah,
then they're gonna play Pokemon Go.
Yeah, no, but you remember Twitch Plays Pokemon?
No.
So Twitch just they it was a experiment, not really an experiment, just a stupid internet thing, where in Twitch chat people guided the main character in Pokemon. It was very random, but they should get Fish fans to get Fish to play Pokemon.
It would be like
in that fashion.
Everyone's 45 and on LSD. Kids dying in a corner.
Yeah. And Fish are doing covers
and they're
of the Pokemon music.
Underground covers. What about Andrew Cuomo, though? No one likes Andrew Cuomo?
That's a very good person of the year.
Person of the year. And unfortunately might end up being the actual time person of the year, which is
no, they already did it. It was Biden Harris.
It was Joe Biden / Kamala Harris.
That's not a person.
Well,
it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Ever since the New York Times decided to endorse Elizabeth Warren / Amy Klobuchar, it became acceptable for two people can be one person.
Well, that's a very bad person of the year.
Well, wasn't there 1 year? Wasn't there 1 year where like wasn't there 1 year where the Time Person of the Year was all of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was in 2006 at the height of YouTube, at the height of early YouTube.
That's not
no.
Wasn't
that the Nobel Peace Prize? They gave the Nobel Peace Prize to all of Europe.
Really? Isn't there money?
For having the longest amount of not having war with each other.
Great job, us. Great job, white people. We did a really great job this century, this time around, you know. We won't have century good peace. We want to have it in the future.
It was just for like 50 years.
We've
also Europe really good at not starting wars anywhere else.
Yeah, we've offshored our wars and
we really got it out of our system, you guys, and now we can just look forward to a very peaceful EU.
Oh, yeah.
We got UK out there. They were troublemakers, UK, bigger troublemakers than Greece. And now we have a very special EU. This accent I'm doing is a European accent.
Yeah, mainland.
Yes, this is the mainland European accent.
Which is now all that Europe is. Europe is now all mainland. There are no island aspects to Europe.
I don't know. I'm picking up on a little bit of a southern twang there, though.
Now the thing which you see is southern twang. That's because I'm from southern Switzerland.
You're like
this is from the. That's because I'm from the swamp in Switzerland. We are known also for our scrimp.
Greta Thunberg impression.
How dare you take my childhood away from me? How dare you? I love Thunberg struck. We all love Thunberg Short. She's great. And very easy to make fun of because she's autistic.
She's gonna become an indie rocker sensation.
This is the new song that we're doing with Royce Cup. It is called "You Stole My Childhood."
She was a person.
She wasn't. No, she was. I don't think she was just around this year doing good stuff.
But she wasn't a Time person.
She was probably. I don't think she was person. Was she Person of the Year?
No, for when 2019.
I think she would have been if COVID hadn't happened.
You mean this year was Thunberg's year?
I think she was last year.
Yeah, she was 2019's Person of the Year.
Yeah.
Wow, she did it. Congratulations, Greg.
2018 was The Guardian.
Wait, when did that whole...
And then the one before that was The Silence Breakers. So they've been doing a lot of plural Person of the Year.
Yeah, well, because of the artifice of choosing a Person of the Year is dumb. Steven, who's your Person of the Year?
Boris Johnson. What an absolute champion. He's finally made a clean exit, and it doesn't matter that we can't fish anymore.
Yeah.
Bojo's a very good choice.
What
we
a
can't
lad.
fish anymore. We can't take boats either. We have to hop if we want. We have to hop over. We have to take a plane.
He canceled Christmas.
Yeah. Brexit is over. Christmas is over. The EU celebrates Christmas for us.
We shot Rupert the bear and we are eating his legs right now. There's some truth.
Brexit is done. The deal is done. He will probably be prime minister for another 4 years or whatever their term is because he did it. And no one expected him to. It's a victory for the crazy people who want to go it alone over there in the UK. I wish I could visit, but apparently you guys are making insane different COVID strains. So not going to happen. Anyway, what do you guys think?
Did any of y'all see that whole Tory street fashion thing where they had taken street? It was pretty cool. Like, I mean, it was like a whole compilation of Tories in the street with their like weird. It's actually really cool. Like as a fashion, you know, they have very strange fashion. Like every single one of them. All the Tories shot in the streets, just like walking with their weird suits and weird dresses.
Yeah, they all look like they're wearing their parents' clothes, even though they're all 8,000-year-old lizards.
Yeah. They look like they're dressed by their parents.
There was a great picture of young Republicans that came out on Twitter, I think during a protest in Michigan to stop the steal of the election. And they also had that aspect of looking like they stole their parents' clothes, but their parents looked like they worked in some kind of demented office building.
There is at least Nazi fashion, because fashion and fascism cross over. Look at Gavin McInnes. You know, that's his whole bread and butter. Fashion is about selecting the groups of people who are in and the groups of people that are out. It is a natural in-group, out-group creating society, which, as Carl Schmitt would say, is necessary to create a sovereign.
There was a very funny part of this year when Laura Loomer won her primary. She won something, and at her acceptance speech was Gavin McInnes and Milo Yiannopoulos and Roger Stone, and they were all just totally blasted on just like drunk out of their minds and probably high on coke. And I encourage you all to watch it because it's very.
What could you are what they're seeing?
But that's the thing about fashion and like or fascists is. No, because fascists are, their thing is they're bad, but they're fun. Tories are boring. That's why Gavin McInnes is hot and he does coke and he has a good time. And Boris Johnson, I wouldn't go to his fucking weird wide eye shut party if you paid me, right? Like, I'm not saying Gavin McInnes is a good guy, but who would I rather go to a party with? Who would I rather go shopping with that's the, in any place that's more civilized than the United States, where there is a strict style and aesthetic difference between their fascists and their Tories.
Yeah. Hey, I like Doc Martens more than I like Spats. So I'd have to become a jackbooted fascist as well. No, I'm going to stop this.
This got confusing.
I'll be on my way.
Yeah, this is a mostly Jewish panel. The audience.
Did you know that in 2005, the person of the year was Bono, Bill Gates, and Melinda Gates?
Why are they naming multiples of people?
And they call them the Good Samaritans.
Oh man, that's like a great throuple. Melinda Gates, I'm gonna eat your pussy while Bill watches.
Oh, Bono.
Bono cured AIDS.
That is so weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like looking at this list, and it's weird how in 2011 the Time Person of the Year was The Protester.
Yeah.
And in 2014 it was Ebola Fighters. Yeah. And they didn't. Neither of those. Well, I guess the Ebola Fighters are now the Ebola Fighters, whatever, are now the COVID Fighters. And
I'm surprised that this year wasn't like the year of the first responders or
right?
Like healthcare heroes. It's Joe Biden.
They got shafted.
Harris.
Well, because Time is the lib media. It's the ultimate centrist lib media. Return to normalcy.
Rudy Giuliani was 2001. No.
Yeah.
Well, you got to do like some 9/11 thing.
But he didn't do anything.
That's not the point.
He stopped 9/11.
2009. They just do people who bear witness.
Yeah, I feel like at least then they had like stand-ins for major events, and they just didn't have the major event itself.
Yes.
Like, I guess the Protester.
The Protesters.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg was the year before that.
Wow. Well, you guys see now it's like Facebook versus Apple now.
Yeah.
I like that it's Facebook versus Apple. It's like a war. You can pick a side. I'm on Apple's side.
Yeah, I'm on Apple's side too. They got a gay leader.
Is Google with Facebook?
Yeah, Google's on Facebook's side.
Yeah. I guess I'm on Apple's side.
See, I hack.
Yeah.
You're an Apple
All of my
cider?
electronics are Google.
Wait, what was that, Jay? What was the first thing you said?
No, I'm a Google cider.
Oh man.
Oh no.
No, I just said y'all are Apple ciders.
Yeah.
We are Apple
here, losing my
ciders.
connection.
Yeah. It's gonna be Mad Max Fury Road, shiny and chrome. Pay tribute to the Apple.
Do you see the Apple car? The Apple car that's gonna happen?
Yeah. Hopefully that's all there will be from now on.
Just Apple cars?
Yeah.
It's like everyone gets an iCar.
Hey, Apple car is gonna. How much is it gonna cost? Like 30? No. Regular cars are like between 15 and 30,000. So an Apple car is gonna.
It's gonna cost $500,000, and there will be no headphone jack.
Like there's no place to put gas in at all. Well, it's gonna be electric. It's gonna be electric.
Yeah. I think it's gonna have a problem where the brakes just don't work, and it just keeps speeding up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's probably gonna be.
Really hot.
It's probably gonna be one of those like self-driving doohickeys. So
yeah, like Upgrade, like the movie Upgrade. If anyone's watching it.
I've seen the movie Upgrade where the guy gets the technology, and then who's controlling in the man or machine? We don't know.
His car just takes him to like a bad side of town, and he gets.
Is that the movie that's like a video game?
No.
No?
No, you're thinking of Hardcore Henry.
Okay. Like the first-person shooter movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Gamer with Gerard Butler.
The Apple car could be.
When you said Apple car, I thought you meant that car that worm drives in the busy world of Richard Scarry, and I thought that would be pretty dope to just drive around in that all day.
I think it's a way for Steve Jobs to remain sentient. And he's gonna
wheels.
He's gonna be the car. He's gonna be everyone's car.
Oh yeah. It's just going to be the soothing voice of Steve Jobs as your GPS. Go left! Go left, you shit bag! What do I pay you for?
Wait, we're almost an hour in, and I feel something like really missing from all of you that I'm gonna ask. Did any of you at all like have or like at all interact with TikTok?
No. I watched a lot of TikTok videos, but I didn't. I don't have the app.
Oh.
Yeah, I downloaded it and then got rid of it because it creeped me out.
I thought
Was it still? Yeah, is it still banned, or what's the deal with that?
It's banned in the U.S. Oh yeah, you're mostly U.S. people.
Yeah, we can't even get it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just creepy videos of little girls. Seems like it.
Well, the newest trend that I saw and creeped me out was like teenagers, like girls, boys, posting several, like not just one, not just two, not three, like between 7 to 10 mugshots of their parents going to prison and rating them. it's like there's like a happy song playing and it's like pointing to something like rating my dad's mugshots from like 2000 to like 2020, and it's like and it's just like it just amps up. It's like ding 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 ding. It's like 1 out of 10 he has tooth missing because he got in a fight, and then, and it's a trend. Like it's several people doing this with several, like I'm talking 7+ pictures of their parents going to prison.
That's scary. What does that mean for the future? Are the young people going to lock us all up?
No, but I mean, if you think about it, like, you know, as a 30-something, I would read that as an interesting listicle, just seeing people's like mugshots throughout time. So I don't think our interests are that different. It's really just the delivery system.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see if people got hotter over the course of their mugshots.
While they were in prison.
Well, you know, because usually it's the opposite. But you know,
well, the thing is that almost this is like you know, like you never know what's a part of a subculture, but a part of this specific subculture is that every single one of these people going to prison are meth heads.
Mm-hmm.
So, or crackheads. Are these even offensive to say? I have no idea.
Is meth head or crackhead? I'm sure there's someone takes offense.
Meth people and crack people.
Sure.
Well, crack people. A person who does crack.
People who enjoy smoking their narcotics.
Yes.
Krakenfolka. Krakenleute.
Crackhead shouldn't be a bad word, but I feel like whenever I see a person who's very bigoted, they will say like crackhead really derisively. So it's like, those fucking crackheads out on the street there.
Yeah, when I went to Niagara, there was this like couple from Portland, and they're like, "Hey, how's like Parkdale?" Like I was just talking to them. I'm like, "Yeah, I live in Parkdale." Like, "Oh, how's life in Parkdale?" I'm like, "We have a lot of like very friendly crackheads," and they did not speak to me again till the end of that trip. Which is the truth. Which is the truth of Parkdale. Parkdale has the most lively and personable crackheads of the whole city of like Toronto. Like they're so nice.
I can attest to that because my neighborhood's crackheads not so nice.
Oh no! What happened? Tell us what happened.
Oh, nothing happened.
Yeah, tell us.
One time, actually, I was walking down the street, and I walk a little weird, and a guy confronted me, and
you do walk weird.
I do, and he asked, "Hey, man, why do you?" He got right up in front of me. "Hey, man, why do you walk so funny? Why do you walk so funny?" And his friend on the bench just said, "'Cause he's a faggot," and then I moved on. That was only one time, and I've been called a faggot many times before, mostly by people yelling it out of pickup trucks.
Yeah, those pickup truck guys suck. Those are the worst guys.
Not a lot of those guys.
Sorry, Dan. I know you have a pickup truck. You don't have a bad one though.
My truck broke.
Good.
Like,
yeah, you can't yell fags at me anymore, Dan.
Yeah. The thing is, I haven't been called a faggot that many times, but what I have been called many times is gringo.
Gringo.
Yeah.
And me with like this skin with these like, and everyone, like I have been called many times a gringo.
What in
Why?
Canada?
Yeah. In Toronto, I have been called a gringo many times.
Wait,
It's
is that
something-
because you work in kitchens?
No, I just like on the street, I just was called a gringo.
A gringo by like
By-
a Spanish person?
Yes.
But you're from Canada, but you're not. What?
I don't understand it either. That's that's the whole point of it being anecdote worthy.
Wait, so what's
I
the
also like
context?
gringos are right too.
Wait,
You
so
know,
what's the context of you getting called a gringo? Is that were they just like driving around in a pickup truck? And they
yeah, like
called
just like
gringo?
random Latin ex people just walking around and just like being like, "Hey, watch yourself, gringo," or like this or that, gringo. And yeah,
It's happened more than once.
yes, by different people.
That's odd. That's very bizarre. But
It is.
whatever. I don't like particular. Did you take offense?
No, I really like it because it's so
Yeah.
strange.
That is a very strange thing. Gringo. I wasn't even called that when I was in El Salvador, and I was a gringo, man. That was
Like, I have
gringoing
never-
it up.
I have never been called a like Middle Eastern slur in my life, but I have been called a gringo many times.
That's good. That's Canada, baby. That's why everyone likes Schitt's
I
Creek.
feel like that's a
the
very
type of thing that
Toronto
happens here.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, Oh, yeah,
Toronto's
it'd be-
a great place to be.
Toronto is a great place to be.
Great place to be.
I'll rep the 6. We're 6 right now. We chose 6 people. We actually chose people, all of them male, and we're all male here because we're good and dudes rock. And we have not had a female, we've not had a lady guest on yet.
Alex, you booked the guests. I just
I
want to say.
know. I
You were the
know.
guest booker.
I know. I'm bad. That's our New Year's resolution. We will have 1 female guest on 2021. 1 stands for 1 female guest.
Yeah, there was a new podcast this year.
Ooh.
That's a thing. That's a topic.
Oh, the House of Decline started this year? What?
You guys want to tell your origin story?
Oh, origin story? Yeah, everyone else had podcasts, and we both like Come Town, and we thought, hey, we could do that. But I that's what I sort of like about this new podcasting generation, and especially, let me just gush about the influence of Come Town. It's sort of like,
Gushed about.
it's gush about Come. Let me gush about Come Town.
You can gush in my come town.
I'll gush in your Come Town. It's very much, it reminds me of the Manchester Free Trade Hall show, you know, the show in Manchester that everyone went to and then everyone started a punk band after. But it's very much this, podcasting is this strange and sort of easy and reliable way to be weirdly creative. And I think that's something that people need in their life. And, you know, I really liked doing it over the past year. And I love you, Stephen, for being
thanks.
my podcast part. So that I would like to talk about the origin of House of Decline because it's been very nice. And I like podcasting, and I'll do it even if our viewers never exceed 100 or 50 or 25 or however many people we have.
I think 13.
Hell yeah!
That's pretty
I
good,
listened
though.
to you guys
I think my
as
dad
soon as I
listened to
can.
one episode.
Your dad is cool. We'll send him a mug.
Dan, what did you say?
I listen to every episode.
Wow.
Right when they come out. Well, I listen to them on Monday while I work. And I even pause them when I need to.
Aw, that's nice to get the juicy content.
I've fallen back a few. I listened. I'm not okay. I'm gonna be an absolute dick here, and I'm gonna say I listened to every episode until the one I came on, and then I didn't listen. But that was accidental. It's because I stopped playing as much video games, which is when I would listen to this.
Yes.
I can't listen to to podcasts while I play video games. Tried.
Oh, you want to hear the audio of the video game?
It's one too many things. I just am like, ah.
See, I can't listen to podcasts sitting down, which is why I think I said this on the episode I was on, where it's like the weirdest thing is because the last person I associate with any kind of exercise is Alex, but I always end up listening to it while I'm either like running or working out. And I'm like, this is not the most high energy, like, this is not Chromatica, but, you know, once a week.
Hey, we're going to work in more trance beats into more happy hardcore beats into House of Decline. Start right now.
No, I don't want to. We're not using the good mics.
Yeah.
The theme song in Double Time and Half pretty impressive.
Hold on, Dan. You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Dan.
Oh, shit.
You're really quiet. You're really quiet.
You're quiet.
All right, hold on.
That's okay. We'll fix it. We'll come back to Dan. Come back to Dan. He'll solve
Hi,
this
I'm
problem.
Daniel. I'm from Norway, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
You know, when you're in Norway, and you can get rid of the whole Brexiteers. You know, no more terrible frickin' Englanders coming over here and waving their dicks at our beautiful Norwegian women. You know, it's like for a while it was reverse Vikings, where the UK people would come over to Oslo and, you know, they'd whip out their dicks and say, you know, where's all your steak and kidney pie? Because they were ruthless. But now because of Brexit, none of those guys anymore. Norway also was never part of the European Union, so it was never actual problem.
You know that whole like Stanhope bit about like Norwegian stinkless pussy?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember Norwegian stinkless pussy. Yeah, he's a doctor that only specializes. He's a gynecologist that only specializes in really hot young Norwegian stinkless pussy.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna go on record and say, please take that out. I don't want to be the guy who quotes that.
Okay. You could just have me bringing it up. I like Doug Stanhope, but he's a very old boomer. He's not a boomer. He's Gen X, I suppose. But he's a Gen X guy. He's got his Gen X opinions.
He's got what I describe as Gen X disease, which is where you, it's what happened to Matt Taibbi.
You're right.
Yeah.
What, Stephen, elaborate on Gen X disease.
It's also what happened to like the hippies. It's the same kind of syndrome where you feel really strongly about something as a young adult and then sell out, and that's what it's just selling out.
But what do they believe in? Because that's Sam Cedar had a good line a couple of weeks ago where it might have been, I don't know, time is a fucking flat circle, but where he was like, you know, because unlike the hippies, like who actually believed in something, the Xers never had their movement. They were basically like, oh, I'm just going to be neo-lib in college. Yeah. That's cool. I'm going to read, you know, I remember my dad's ex-wife, always her favorite story from college is she was, one of her professors said, if you enjoy the work of Ayn Rand, then you're not going to like this class. And she dramatically exited like a 300-person lecture hall. I'm like, and she was 18. She was that fucking, that's the true Xer syndrome. That their dream was fucking Reagan.
Has anyone read the Douglas Copeland Generation X novel?
No, have you?
Yeah, it's a great take. It's a great take on Generation X.
What does old Dougie Copes have to say about Gen X?
I don't remember. I read it a long time. I just remember of all his books, this was my absolute favorite. It was such a good book.
Isn't his whole oeuvre about Gen X? Like all of his books are sort of about that alienation.
But yeah, like his literal General X Tales of an Accelerated Culture, that was a great book. That like it was a great take on the generation. Douglas Copeland's Canadian, right? I think so.
He is Canadian.
He is, yeah.
He's one of those guys. He's a Canadian cultural critic, like Marshall McLuhan, except not as good. and not as wonderfully Catholic.
Oh,
Fucking.
you beat me to it. I was literally about to say not as Catholic.
Yeah. Good old Tradcath Marshall McLuhan. He wasn't Tradcath. He was Progcath.
There used to be some Prague Caths. There were a couple of Jesuit priests who were imprisoned for opposing the Vietnam War. There used to be like cool Prague Caths, kind of like.
There are still cool Prague cats. It's
Aren't
pretty.
the nuns, aren't like the New York nuns super woke?
I've heard something like that, but I can't confirm.
Who are the nuns who make weed? What's their deal? You know, like that, like whole thing that blew up. The nuns who make weed. I forget.
Yeah, I bet they make weed, but they probably still don't like abortion, which is I feel conflicted about.
Yeah, there's some nuns in California who make weed.
Oh man, we're making weed for the Lord. I'm married to the Lord and this dank kush.
Did I tell you about how downtown Montreal now, especially in the gay village, now that everything's closed because of COVID, it's like the two camps of weird, strange people now taking over that street are anti-abortion activists and white people doing Hare Krishna. And they stand across the road from each other like they're about to play the weirdest game of Red Rover. And I'm like, for both groups, I'm like, it's the gay village. You're like, this is probably the least amount of abortions you're going to see in Montreal, in this community. And they just stare each other down all day. They're right next to my pharmaprix, so I see them every once in a while. But...
Oh yeah, my pharmaprix, Canada.
What's a pharmaprix?
What is a pharmaprix?
It's
the French
same
version of the Canadian chain of pharmacies called Shoppers Drug Mart, but everything has to be French in Quebec, so it is Pharmaprix.
Yeah, it is the.
And our convenience stores are called Dépanneux.
Yeah, Deps.
And you have to be named Sylvie to work there.
Or Guillaume. Everyone on Grindr is named Guillaume. I have never seen so much uncut penis in my life until I moved there.
Uncut Gems. That came out last year too. Dan, your mic's working again. Speak to me, Dan.
Hey, I wanted to know when we're allowed back in Canada. Do you know? Do you guys get intel on that?
I don't know. I don't have any info. Yeah. You're never coming back. You're never coming back here. You had your chance.
It's stressful to be so close and not let in.
Yeah.
Can we come wave at the border to each other?
Yeah, you guys want to meet at the border and wave?
We meet and wave.
What happens if you try to go in? They just say no?
Yeah, they're scary. I wouldn't want to try. They're scary there. At the at least at the Detroit border, both sides are scary. I had a bad time, but coming in and going. But it was worse coming in. The American Border Patrol guy was like wearing really into his leather gloves. And it was very weird. He was smelling them. telling me exactly what to do. It's like, so you want to come back to your country, and is it your country, really? What the fuck is going on? Yes, I live there. And he's like, yeah, well, I'll see. I'll find out.
I had a similar experience last year when I visited Alex in Toronto, where I took the train up through, I guess, like Buffalo, and I just felt like the lady at the border who was just asking me questions just didn't believe anything I was saying. It's like, who are you seeing? Alex, really? And where did you meet? College. Like, what are you talking? Like, okay. Like, where does this Alex person live exactly?
Yeah, I mean, in her defense, we're not going to say Alex's last name on the pod, but his last name and first name do not sound like a real person's name.
That is true. You do sound like a fake person, Alex.
Yeah, I sound like hell. That's okay. Here's a special New Year's episode. I'll just straight up dox myself on the show. My name is Alex Hood.
No.
This is a big name reveal.
I'm gonna bleep it.
Okay. But yeah, my name sounds like something that a very inexperienced drug dealer would make up to be their alias. You know,
Yeah.
because
That's like your origin story.
that is my
That's
origin
what
story
you
as
did.
well. Yeah.
Alex, Alex, every time I wanna talk about you to Therese, and I'm like, Alex, and she's like, Alex who? And I'm like, I say your whole name, and she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, I say your Facebook name. It's like, oh, Alex. I have to look. This has been happening for like 2 years straight. Where every time I want to mention you, I have to mention, like, it's come to a point where I don't say Alex anymore. I just say your Facebook name.
Man, I feel embarrassed around Therese. She's too nice for me. She's too much of a genuinely good person. I always feel like a piece of shit when I'm around her. But you're good enough for me, Kramer. Nah, I'm kidding.
Do you guys have New Year's resolutions?
No.
No. I never keep them anyway. What's the point?
Me neither. Mine was to go to the gym, but I picked it as a year where it would kill me.
This is a great year to go to the gym. I can't.
Too bad. God hates working out. It's God's fault.
I have a legitimate like New Year's resolution, which is like very achievable as well, is to like translate an entire book. And I have the book. I have the book and I have the rights, and I just want to do it this year.
That's good. What are you Are you translating from Farsi?
Yeah.
Hells yeah. Do you want to mention the book, or do you want to not?
No. It's not been sold or anything. So like, it's like technically like it's just like, I don't know. It's just like not worth mentioning because just in case it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but that is. I wish you very well in your goal. That is a noble goal. Translation is a beautiful art.
Translateral.
Yes, and it requires so much. It requires so much thought on the translator's part about how to like contextualize tropes and idioms from another culture to another one. And it always struck me as like that previous versions of like the Iliad didn't really comment on how homoerotic it was because it was translated by a bunch of old British guys. It's like, well, this is what we did at boarding school.
Yeah, this is completely normal.
No need to mention this. They were all fucking pussy on this.
Actually, you know what? Now that you say that, I'm just gonna go for it. The whole thing is I've already pitched it to one person and shown interest. So I'm gonna do a translation of Persian ghazals throughout the years. So like ghazal is like it's really funny because like Canada has a pre-existing culture of ghazal. It's like the same way that like Kerouac did, like the same thing that Kerouac did to the haiku in the US, and it became like a whole culture of like American haiku that is like slightly variated. An East Coast poet did a book of, actually the book is literally here. John Thompson did a book called Stiltjack, which was all like English ghazals, and I'm gonna do like a whole rebuke, and I'm gonna do like ghazals instead of like doing all Rumi. I'm gonna do like from the very beginning of the ghazals that exist all the way to like contemporary.
That's pretty cool. For the uninitiated, what is the type of format of this type of poem?
So that the whole point is that in Farsi, a ghazal is a simple rhyme scheme, but in English scholarship, there has been given extra English scholarship and English language ghazals are. They say that each couplet must be divorced from meaning from the other. And this is something that is often the case, but not always. Like there are ghazals by Rumi that are like an entire like continuous story, and there are others that are like disconnected between the verses. But like basically the English scholarship of the ghazal is that every verse is disconnected from the other in terms of like thought, progression, narrative, and everything, which is not really the case. Anyway, sorry. This is like niche town.
It's niche, but I'm interested. This is what we got you on for your.
It's New Zealand basketball.
I would say almost everything I know about this I get from reading your Facebook page.
Look, we're gonna do some New Zealand results. All right, it's gonna be fun. There's gonna be a New Zealand tradition of this poem.
Sean Marks is coaching with Gazalt. Is this what I'm hearing?
Yes, Sean Marks. He's using this format of poetry to change up his roster.
That's fitting for 2020.
My New Year's resolution is to make all of my dreams come true.
What are your dreams?
I guess by make all of my dreams come true, I guess I mean, like actually like fucking my sleep paralysis demon. Finally fucking my sleep paralysis demon.
Cool. Catching it, you mean? Because you're...
Yeah, catching my sleep paralysis demon with a little net. Just pinning it to the ground and being like, yeah!
And fucking it like Dakota Fanning.
Fucking it like Dakota Fanning gave Kramer COVID.
Right. That's how
Everyone on North America.
It's like a fucking Frankie Boyle set. It all comes together at the end. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Frankie Boyle doesn't do that.
No, who comes together? You know who comes together? The thruple of Bill Gates, Bono, and Melinda Gates. They all come together. Hey, what do you think Bill Gates orgasming sounds like?
I think it's it's probably a little more like old and not as like,
Yeah,
you're
Steve's
right.
It's the old dial-up sound.
or it's just the Windows startup does. That would be great. That would be great to come like that. And you make a weird sound.
You come with noise, custom noise.
Come with noise.
Custom noise. Unfortunately,
Oh, and the irony is that Bono sounds like Dolores O'Riordan when he comes.
Yeah. That's what we need to bring. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to bring back that weird yelping yodel that 1990s women singers used. I'm going to make that mainstream again.
The Alanis Morissette yodel.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was very popular.
Avril used to do that too.
Yeah. Man.
Wait, talking about like that yodel, have you seen the Millennial Woo? Like,
the Millennial Woo?
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, the Millennial Whoop. I was talking about this the other day. The Millennial Whoop was a convention at one of my most controversially hated bands is Arcade Fire. I fucking can't stand Arcade Fire all the way back from when they came out because I feel like they created this sound of generic commercial ready epicness that was very sort of that elicited the idea of sort of atmosphere, but was actually quite shallow in its content and mostly just about reveling in this harmful nostalgia. And from that came these tropes and conventions of using these very simplified pentatonic melodies to get across this sense of catchy epicness. I think the song that I remember as being the fucking nadir of this genre was that there was a song by American authors that went, "This is gonna be the best day of my life. This is gonna be the best day." I remember that song, and that was a real low point for culture. And it stems directly from that boiling down of that sort of feel-good campfire, almost rusted root evolution from Arcade Fire.
Yeah, the cinematic equivalent would be Juno.
Yeah. I think that's the primary reason why Elliot Page transitioned. He didn't want to be associated with that movie anymore.
Yeah, you just destroyed Arcade Fire. That's funny.
They don't need to destroy it.
Alex destroys Arcade Fire with facts and logic.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that part out just for YouTube.
No, they're bad.
People love them though, and I think they're ultra nostalgia sound. Like, can you think of other bands that embrace that sound as well?
Just give it some time, and then the nostalgia will feel real instead of manufactured.
Mumford and Sons got on that.
You're right. It's Mumford and Sons.
Yeah.
But all of it's like that.
Timeless music that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. But when I realized Black Keys, Tame Impala, all of them are like hearkening. I think that's why I like 100 gecs so much.
Yeah.
Because they don't sound like anything I've ever heard before. This shit is new. Whether it's good or not is entirely different.
It is good.
Listen
to it on good speakers. It's very good.
Yeah. But I also generally I think there's this new genre that's emerging that people are calling hyperpop. That 100 gecs is a part of. Also a part of is the wonderful Sophie. I like Sophie as well. I think they are cool. But yeah, this very disjointed, very elaborate, almost prog-like music. But it's pop music, and it has like auto-tune and those fun tropes built up from the last 20 years. Even like Charlie XCX is starting to make music like this, which is very interesting because she's been a figure of the mainstream pop scene for a while. And I like the direction it's gone. I'm of the opinion that the music that the kids are listening to today is actually probably better than the music in my era.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
It's better.
Wait,
that's fair.
Is it weird if we all say our favorite album of the year?
I didn't listen to a lot of albums this year, so I don't know. It's not weird. If you have one, name it.
Yeah,
no, I can't think of it either. Sorry.
Everyone like that Fiona Apple album.
The new Carly Rae Jepsen album?
Yeah. You know what dropped this year that I listened to is the new Neil Cicierega album, the new Mouth in the Mouth trilogy that just came out. So everyone listened to that guy. Everyone listened to Neil Cicierega.
I really like the new Liane La Havas album. That was good. I mean, I love Liane La Havas, but I don't know how
Liane La Havas.
Liane La Havas, she's really cool. Honestly, I haven't been in the music scene for so long. I don't know how popular people are. I don't know if a name I drop is going to be super popular or super niche. I think she's very well known. I don't know. Liane La Havas.
I liked that Megan Thee Stallion record. I listened to that for some reason. You know what my favorite records are? The two albums I listened to. Oh, and Run the Jewels 4. I listened to 3 albums this year that came out this year. Because, I'm 30 now. I'm old. I'm just listening to all this stuff that made me feel like I was young once.
I can't listen to Run the Jewels and don't think of that Ari Shaffir thing. What's that thing? What's that thing that Ari Shaffir used to host, and that it had the Run the Jewels original Run?
This Is Not Happening.
Yeah, This Is Not Happening.
Yeah, Ari Shaffir is a polarizing figure. When Kobe Bryant died, he was like, "Yo, fuck Kobe, that guy's a rapist. He deserved to die." And all of the Roganites turned on him. They were like,
Ari
"Oh, that's not cool."
Can't go to certain parts of LA because and it's fine. He's also said he regularly says horrible things. And whenever if someone tries to cancel him, he just goes on vacation. But this has apparently been the thing that will cancel him. Because you can't say mean things about Kobe. I'll be very careful. Because they will find you.
Yeah, the Kobe fans.
The Kobe fans are intense.
Look, we gotta dig up Kobe's corpse. It's the only way. It's the only way to revive the human race. Is we have to get Kobe revived.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
It's like a mission.
Yeah. We need to learn chaos magic. We need to learn necromancy to get Kobe back.
Actually, I'm at my family home. I've been bunkered here for about a month and looking at a bunch of old books and shit I had from when I was a kid. And I found a very ancient Jewish book of magic that is actually meant to raise the dead. It is the seventh seal of Solomon. And I went through a witchy phase as a teenager, but I wasn't cool enough in high school to get a dozen other people to stand naked with me in a field at various times throughout the year to summon the dead.
You could do that now. You're in grad school. You got people.
Yeah, yeah, extra credit.
Yeah. Now, students, this TA.
If you want your full participation grade.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to molest you, okay? I'm not going to molest you, okay? I just need you to be naked.
I just need you to be naked to revive Kobe Bryant, that I obviously care very much about because I knew he was dead before an hour ago.
And his daughter. Oh no. That's honestly my hot take on that is I think anyone that has ever ridden in a private helicopter probably deserves to die. So
Well,
no, including medical patients.
yeah.
No, but it can't be true because JFK Jr., so he's alive and he's going to take over the world.
You're right.
But it can't be true.
You're right. JFK Jr. is coming for all of us. Where we go, that's another thing I mean, QAnon didn't start this year, but it really got going this year because COVID, obviously enhances the conspiracy.
Yeah, that's the one thing we didn't talk about.
Oh,
Did I tell you I saw a QAnon vanity plate in town the other day?
What?
No.
What it
It
say?
was like WW. It was where we go.
Where we go one, we go all.
Yeah. It was an orange Subaru Crosstrek, and I was like, "Oh, a vanity plate," and I was like, "That seems weird." And then I wrote it all out, and then I typed in it's definitely a QAnon thing.
That's amazing. I can't believe the fucking DMV grants people. They haven't gotten wise to where we. That's like granting someone 1488 vanity plate or something like that.
Oh man, I was really excited about it.
Man, those
You
guys
should
are
follow them.
everywhere.
They went to Walmart.
You should follow them around and then wait for them to get out of their car and then drive really fast, right by them. And
I'm just
freak them
really
out.
I'm just really excited for 5 years from now after they come to their senses and they just still have this dumb
The
vanity
license
plate.
plate.
Yeah.
They'll be on a new one by then.
Yeah. Man, it's like the guy.
Planning cross COVID here.
I want a TikTok of all the Q tattoos. Kramer, you got to keep me updated on the TikToks and the Q tattoos on the TikToks.
What's a Q tattoo?
Oh, frick.
I don't know. Well, it's like the
QAnon,
Q license plate, but even more regrettable.
Oh,
There have
gotcha,
been
gotcha.
some, I'm sure.
They have a picture of John Podesta injecting adrenochrome into Hillary Clinton's neck for some reason. That's the tattoo they get. They have a picture of John Podesta just ripping a baby apart. It's really violent. It's weird that they would go with that.
That'd be a cool tattoo.
Yeah, those are pretty fucking metal, if you ask me.
Yeah. Maybe, some Q metal would be nice. Some QAnon themed metal. I'm sure they're already in.
There's a lot of Q music out there that I highly encourage you to track down and listen to.
Specifically rap. There's a lot of Q rap.
Yeah.
Really?
I think there's rap, there's country. I'm trying to think if I've heard any Q metal. I must have. That sounds like it makes too much sense.
Yeah. Oh, man, the rap is so
Let's make a Q metal song. Let's cash in to the Q experience here.
Mhm.
This is a money-making machine. Right? That's basically what it is. For takers,
feels so clean
takers.
like a money machine.
Well, first you have to hack into the YouTube algorithm by making a bunch of weird videos first that makes Google want to cross-reference your shit with all the Q stuff.
Yeah, I could maybe make a few videos in advance to get on the algorithm train.
I don't know. I can hook you up with some good SEO people if you really want to get in on the Q train.
Well, apparently no one understands how Google works, so the government has to sue them. It's basically what's happening with advertising. I've heard about
probably
it's
good.
like several times. I've known various people who work in the advertising industry, and they always talk about how Google is just incomprehensible, and it makes it impossible to do anything because they keep changing their friggin' algorithms.
Well, as long
Mhm.
as long as we're talking algorithmic weirdness, I like a couple months ago, I was just like, I spent about like 4 or 5 hours on YouTube watching like Islamic philosophy videos and everything, and then I went onto my Facebook and I had 3 friend requests from like, you know, those like thirst bots that just add you, and one of them, like, sorry, the 3 was superfluous. One of them was new. The newest one was literally called Istighfar, and it did not have any other name, and that was, and it's like an Islamic philosophical term for like asking forgiveness before prayer, and that was the name of the thirst bot. It was like, and I'm like, oh wow, like thirst bots have achieved so much cultural like nobility. Thirst bots are now named after like complex Islamic philosophical ideals, and I'm like, oh, I watched Islamic philosophy for 3 hours, and now like the thirst bot, instead of being called Cecily, is called Istighfar.
Oh man, the next time you're gonna get the twins, Ali Rahman and Ali Rahim. That's a little Islam joke for you fellas. That's probably bad. I hope I don't get canceled for that. Those are very sacred concepts.
No, don't worry. Like, you got a Muslim looking fella here. Like,
there, yeah.
Wait, by the way, to people who are like hearing me as Kramer, I'm like a literal Persian person. So
yeah, we got
2021. We're gonna get more metaphorical Persian people on the pod.
Yes.
Hypothetical.
My old dentist. I could get my old dentist.
From Texas?
Yeah, we had to stop being friends with them. They were Persian. They were from Iran.
Why did you have to stop being friends with them? Is the answer bad?
They said the Jews did 9/11, so we had to...
Oh, well, you know. Well,
Yeah.
you know, he was standing from New Jersey applauding it, so he's not in the right ears.
Wait a second. Are you saying they did not? I'm sorry. I was under the... Like, I'm really sorry. I thought we had this, like...
No, I thought we did 9/11.
Steve,
I went to that meeting.
Steve, did you?
I don't think so, but I was really excited when I heard that it was the Jews.
See, I heard about it, but I wasn't invited because it was the year before my bar mitzvah, and so I wasn't truly a man yet. So
Yeah,
I
I was in 7th grade at the time, so I wasn't a man either yet. So I just figured, like, okay, I'm not privy to all this information.
Here's my theory. Rudy Giuliani did 9/11 in order to gain clout and become Time Person of the Year.
Possible. Or he like misunderstood, similar to Total Landscaping. Like someone gave him he's like, yeah, we'll do something at the World Trade Center. It sounds great.
Yeah. We'll just have.
He thought he was flying out the homeless people.
Yes, exactly.
But the planes were going the wrong way.
Yeah, he hired a young inexperienced pilot named Mo Atta to just do a ticker tape flyover at these precise air coordinates, and so oh no, they were too low.
No, I thought we established the pilot's name was Chaim Ben Shlomo.
It was all just an accident, an unfortunate series of accidents.
Yeah, and then old Rudy took credit.
Rudy farted his way.
Mayor.
But yeah, like Persians in general are incredibly anti-Semitic. I would say, like, yeah, it's like the kind of shit. Like, I grew up in Iran, so like you'd walk in the streets and there would be entire murals like 4 stories high. It's like talking shit about Israel and like the Jews.
Hey, same with Jeremy Corbyn. Just because you're anti-Israel doesn't mean you're anti-Semitic. But in
no. This like Iranians are like anti like all things Jewish. They're like Jewish people are incredibly like lead incredibly dangerous lives in Iran and usually leave. So like they don't exist as a seen minority in Iran. Like they have to like either pretend to be, Muslims or they leave.
On the other side, I mean, it's not like, Jewish people have a really great relationship with either Persian people or Muslim people in general. It's not,
Israel's not really doing a lot to help our reputation,
No.
But that's why, we gotta airdrop more Mel Brooks films into Iran. That's
like when I came to Toronto and like I had a friend who had a Persian friend, and she's like, "Oh, let's one time get together." And the friend was afraid of meeting me because he was a Persian Jew and he had horrible experience with like meeting like regular like non-Jewish Persians and how incredibly like intolerant they were towards Jewish people in the past. So like he did not want to meet me and we didn't end up meeting. But which I understand, like there's a lot of but yeah, Iranians are like
you're taking that pretty well. I'd be pretty sad about that.
No, Iranians do not have a good relationship. Like again, like it's not. You're right. Like it's not like just Israel. Like Iranians do not have a good relationship with Jewish people in general.
Well, I'm gonna have to solve all that because I love Iran. I think it's a great culture.
Go there, Alex.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Iran. I'm gonna Jew it up.
Yeah, my buddy
in Iran.
was getting married in Iran, and he kept trying to convince me to come. And he's like, "You have to be in my wedding. You have to be in my wedding." I'm like, "But I am the faggiest Jew in the world. Like, do you really think that's gonna work out well?" He's like, "No, it's fine. It's fine." I'm like, "I don't know. Shh." And I didn't go.
Well, who needs Tehran when you got Toronto, which is basically already a Persian city?
Do they have is there a neighborhood that you could call?
Wait, there's like I thought you actually knew, but like North York is literally called Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto.
Yeah.
It's like I could walk there from my mom's place right now.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Get some like serious kebab on.
Yeah, if you need to be gay and Jewish in a Persian city, just go to North York.
They're nicer than the Russians.
They really are.
Which is where I am right now in Russian area. They're much friendlier.
I like how the Russians and the Persians also ended up being geopolitically proximate in Toronto. That's very funny to me. Oh, man. Anything else about 2020 that was funny? The plague. Did you learn anything from the plague? Did any of you learn anything from this?
I learned that we're all doomed with climate change because people don't know how to assess and tackle risks that aren't immediately staring them in the face. If it's not a big explosion, it's hard to get people to care.
Well, I learned that Tiny Desk can finally be good.
In the NPR Tiny Desk?
Yeah.
Because all the good musicians are out of work probably. So they're like, well, we'll just do the remote gigs.
I only do tiny dick concerts. That's concerts with people with tiny dicks. So we had
I
on
played
Fred
that song
Durst.
for my dad the other day.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. I wrote a song called Tiny Dicks once, but I'll sing us some bars. What is wrong and what is right? Sucking tiny dicks tonight. Okay, that's it.
That's a good one.
I like that.
And the tinier
It's a
the
real
dick
banger,
is the
honestly.
tinier the malice in your soul. And the tinier the dick is the tinier the phallus in your hole. Yeah, I think that lyric's pretty funny.
Tiny dick but a big hole?
No, the tinier the dick is the tinier the malice in your soul.
Okay.
The tinier the dick is the tinier the phallus in your hole.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's tautological.
Yeah, it is tautological. My taut anus illogical. My anus is so taut you can bounce quarters off of it. And it goes sproing. Like Sonic jumping off one of the springs.
You're like, your anus is like Tigger?
Yeah. Yeah, I can actually bounce on my anus. My bottom is made out of rubber.
I mean, I do call my penis the 100-acre wood.
Yeah,
And I call my asshole Pooh Bear.
You just reminded me of the gay sect of the Tigger Boys, where the tops are made out of rubber and the bottoms are made out of springs. That also, for some reason, also now I think of Paw Patrol as like a roving gang of friendly bears from the gay neighborhood, and as opposed to authoritarian puppies.
Yeah, that's the cop show for little kids.
Yeah, that's the propaganda show.
Authoritarian puppies.
Yeah. Yeah, the dog does a knee hold on does a knee press on a black lab, and they film it, and it's a whole thing. That was a bad joke. That wasn't poor taste.
Yeah. Alex, you're kicked off the show for 2 episodes.
I'm done.
Of your conduct.
I'm in free speech jail again.
You're in free speech jail. It's just going to be me. I'm going to have to come up with a monologue.
Do some Steven Solo episodes. Really hash some shit out.
I'll just read a book. You can just listen to me reading a book.
Pull a Kaufman.
Which would be turn into me playing video games after 1 page.
Yeah.
What did Kaufman read? Did he read like The Great Gatsby?
He wrote The Great Gatsby. But then you start playing The Great Gatsby video game, which would be great. We should make that. Let's make that.
The Great Gatsby, the video game?
Yeah, it's a driving sim.
I've always wanted to take someone home and...
comes with a case of wine.
I've always wanted to take someone home and just like Gatsby all my books over them. It's like, look at all my shit. Look at all my shit. I have enough books to like Gatsby it around.
Like Spring Breaker's Gatsby move?
Yeah, it's like, look at all my shit.
Look at all my shit. I guess that's what Spring Breakers, you're right. Spring Breakers is Great Gatsby. That is, it's the same American story. Look at all my shit. Look at all my shit. And it's also about seducing nubile young ones into your life, attempting to win them over with material good. But in the end, they succumb to the momentum of American society in general.
Also, like, serious question: how long is this going to go on till?
We're wrapping up soon.
We can stop at any time. We went over our time limit.
We've gotten over minutes, but I enjoy talking to you so much.
Yeah, well, let's wrap it up. I didn't learn anything this year, so that sucks.
Yeah.
I learned I'm still bad at like video games and puzzles and thinking and logic. Still really bad at that. I don't understand coding. Still another year. I had a job, then I just quit because it sucked. So
yeah,
2021 will be everything in reverse.
That's what we're all hoping.
We're all hoping.
I learned that all of your fears are real, and anxiety is a worthwhile practice because the things that you're worried about will happen. And they'll be worse than you thought.
I learned I'm not as introverted as I thought I was. I started off the year being like, oh, COVID, all of my dreams are coming true. I don't have to see anybody. Sitting at home playing video games, masturbating all day. And then, cut months later, it's like, I'm so lonely. The dog isn't enough.
I learned that I'm even more vain than anybody thought I was because I bought a ring light.
You're a Chinese influencer.
In my defense, I teach on Zoom, and I can't let those kids think I'm ugly.
Yeah, you got to wield authority over them. And the best way to wield authority over someone is being super hot, which is why James Gandolfini is the most authoritative person on earth.
Okay.
All right.
This is what I believe with. I believe that James Gandolfini is the most sexually attractive man to have ever existed.
Yeah, we finally found your type.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot about the Sopranos.
You wanna have lazy Tony Soprano sex with them?
I want to have lazy 2021 Tony Soprano sex. 2021.
But he gets eaten out once a year on his birthday.
Yeah.
I also get his gabagool all wet and shiny on his birthday.
That's it. We don't resurrect Kobe. We resurrect James Gandolfini, and he becomes the gabagool.
I'm all
Also-
for that.
Let me say something to all of you who are like going into this new year with a lot of hope, is that a U.S. naval vessel went into the Persian Gulf, and Trump said, if any American ends up dead for any reason, it's gonna be war.
That's funny.
And then the Persians are like, fuck you, Trump. So like, I'm just letting you know, we've come full circle.
Yeah. Trump is going to start a war with Iran on the last day, and Biden is going to be too chicken. Well, they voted for it, so we got to go with it, Mac.
Yeah. They voted for Trump. Yeah, I get it. That would be crazy. I hope not. That'd actually suck.
Yeah.
Really
So
hope.
2021, when we're all drafted in the war of arrest, somehow Canadians get drafted too. It's a whole situation. Biden has that power. Biden makes a deal with Trudeau to draft Canadians in the Iran wars.
That's
we'll
why
be
you all
seeing you
got to
then.
get your ass over to Quebec. It's the only ones who won't fight.
You're right.
Let's all go. I'm down. Let's go. I'll take any invitation to be a refugee. You don't turn that down. Alex was my number one choice, but it can be Jay.
I've got
All
a
of
nicer
you come
couch.
to Canada. It's exactly like Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Come to Canada in 2021. It's just like Schitt's
I'm
Creek.
fleeing to Canada.
Everyone get French on your Duolingo.
Will that help me get in? What would
No.
help
Yes.
me?
Not at all. You'll get to Quebec and realize they sound nothing like Duolingo.
Yeah, no, that's what you do. You learn French, then you move to Quebec, and then you learn French again, and then 3 years later, you'll kind of speak French, even though you thought you spoke French when you got there.
Here's what you do. You go to the border, you bring a chainsaw. When they ask you a question, you rev the chainsaw. They'll think you're speaking Quebecois. You'll get over no problem.
I guess you must be Canadian to have to understand that joke.
Well, the Quebecois accent is so guttural that it does very much sound like a chainsaw going. Okay, I don't know. I think we have enough audio, so we can just be casual.
Yeah.
We can just be real casual.
We can all
about
say
it.
goodbye.
I love you all.
Nice seeing everybody.
Bye bye. See you in the new year.
See you in the new year.
Thanks for this
Get a
bukkake
week.
of kindness.